Okay, welcome back everybody. I'm here playing another 15 plus 10 game on Lichess. We're playing against Boris 602. He's rated 2063. Let's play a Sicilian. I would like to learn some more e4, e5, but I'm not feeling brave enough to randomly do it today. But that is probably what it will take at some point. So yeah, we'll just play sort of the normal repertoire. Maybe I'll mix it up, play a different Sicilian than I would normally play. I've been happy with rating gains recently, although I had a rough rough night yesterday. So maybe let's try to get back on track and just play the opening that I'm most familiar with, the Accelerated Dragon. But yeah, I was up to 2140 on my stream at some point last night, and then I lost, I don't know, like 3 or 4 games in a row. But keeping my head above the 2100 watermark feels good anyway. So, okay, so I'm already glad I played the Accelerated Dragon because I don't find Knight C3 to be the most testing line. I feel like I have pretty good results against Knight C3. I've never seen the move Knight DE2. That feels very strange because this bishop is blocked in now. So it looks like White's going to have to play G3 and try to fianchetto. On the other hand, one of the ideas of the Accelerated Dragon is to play D5. That will be harder now with the queen eyeing up D5. The White's got a lot of defense there. Knight F6 feels pretty natural. I mean, sometimes you have to think about this, but now you don't. But I don't know. It's sort of hard to believe that Knight F6 is wrong. So I guess I'll just do that. And I'd anticipate G3. He could maybe develop this bishop. At some point, maybe, like, if he plays G3, maybe I just play E5. With the idea of, I mean, one, the pawn on E5 offsets this knight quite nicely. Like, actually, the knight will just have no squares except for to go to G1. Also, since it looks like White's going to put his bishop here, it would be kind of nice to keep that bishop staring at a pawn. The downside is that I give away E5, or a D5, rather. Which does happen in a lot of Sicilians, but not Sicilians that I play. But I know lots of, you know, GMs are playing these Sveshnikovs where they're giving away D5. I don't feel super comfortable with the structure, but I do like that I sort of greatly reduce the activity of 2 of his pieces with just 1 move. So with all that in mind, I think I'm going to go for it, and we're going to assume that the GMs know what they're talking about, and that this structure isn't as bad as it looks. I guess it deserves mention that, I mean, I am blocking my bishop a little bit too, but... yeah, and I think I'll probably try to put this knight here, e6, bishop e6, and hope to one day get d5 on the board. If I play d6 right now, knight b5 could be annoying, adding a second attacker, and I don't have a convenient defense. On the other hand, knight b5 is going to be annoying anyway, threatening to get here. So maybe I actually should play a6 and just prevent that. Because that might be too annoying. Unless I can play d5 after knight b5, but I don't think that that's the case. He still has that pretty well defended. So let's play a6. Keep him out of some tender areas. And I'll play like d6, bishop e6 next, probably. I don't feel any huge hurry to castle, but, you know, it is something I'll do at some point. Okay, h3 also seems very strange, because I don't think that knight g4 was any big idea. Why else might he have played that move? He might want to play g4 and put this knight on g3. But I'm not super afraid of that either, because the knight is still sort of boxed out by a pawn on that square. So I think I'll just continue with the plan. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. I think I definitely want to get this bishop here now before he gets a bishop. That's not how the bishop moves. Wow. Sometimes I hallucinate. Okay. Perhaps he is trying to angle in here. That could be a thing that he's trying to do. I could play b5 if I wanted to prevent that. b5 sort of makes a lot of sense anyway. b5 could be met with a4. And then I feel sort of obliged to play b4, which I don't know if I really like all that much. I mean, the knight, yeah, I mean, the knight can get in here too, so we might be snipping this. Maybe I should play knight e6, or knight e7. Because if I'm ever having to take this knight here, what I'd really like is for a pawn to end up here. Rather than him being able to put pieces here. I just have to be sure that, you know, this kind of idea isn't just, you know, completely murdering me. I think I'm okay. I mean, I could play bishop e6 and queen d7. So yeah, let's jump over here. That was sort of always part of the plan. But yeah, it would be good to have a pawn here so that white is not like putting everything on this backward d pawn. And like d5 is just a nice square for his pieces, since I don't ever have a pawn that can kick him away. So if that pawn is occupied, if that square is occupied with a pawn, then that might be good. Okay, I'm trying to. I was wondering if there were any tactics here, but I think the answer is no. If he took with the bishop, then it would almost work, but he could still take that. But yeah, this is sort of a tactical pattern. If I ever play d5, I'm threatening d4. Something to think about. It looks like he's going to castle long. So bishop e6, b5. These moves all make a lot of sense. When he does castle long, he's going to have the pressure here. And there may not be anything I can really do about that. So we might need to just play for activity, because this pawn might be going by the wayside. So I'm thinking bishop e6, castles, and maybe queen h5, queen a5. Try to create some target here. But I mean, his queen's coming in with great effect. Maybe I should just sack the pawn now. and he'll eventually have to take with the pawn, and maybe I can argue that that blocks up his attack. But this pawn is probably pretty dangerous. Opening this bishop up, too. Another idea would be to castle, and then I could play knight e8 to defend that. That's not the most appealing looking move. I could try b5, and if castle's b4... that could be something. I think I'm going to go with that one, because I'm using a lot of time here. That seems to create some problems for him. Like, if the knight goes here, then I'm ready to take, and he has to take with the pawn, and then that whole problem on d6 is sort of covered. And I mean, it looks like we're trending towards an opposite side castling position. Another line I looked at was castles b4, knight a4, queen a5. I don't know if that's any good, but maybe b4, knight a4, bishop d7 is better. I guess the problem is he still has this b6 square that he can pivot to. But, I mean, that is not without risk. Like, I could try to win 2 pieces for the rook. Oh, okay, he plays rook d1 instead of castles. Well, I still like b4. And just ask him what he's gonna do. I mean, maybe he will just go to a4 and chill, but... I mean, I think I'm gonna lose d6, so I need to find some compensation there. Okay, I don't know, let's try it. I'd really love for him to just stick it here. I don't think he's going to oblige me. Yep. Yeah, it looks quite troublesome. And no time to boot. Okay, I think we've just got to cut our losses. And try to play from here. See which pawn he takes. Maybe this one. Maybe he won't take a pawn. Dang. Well, I don't think I want him to take a second pawn and unleash this, so let's take. And let's... Yeah, this walks into that. Try this. Yeah, I suppose. Try to get at that. Yeah, he was ready. Here? Block that. If I can get here, that could be pleasant. I might need to do this just to get rid. This rook is pretty powerful. We might need to just get rid of him. If he castles, I can do that. The problem is takes, and then there's nothing guarding a6. But if he castles, then this knight's undefended, and I'd have bishop b5 there. And I'd probably still be losing because I am dropping all these pawns, and he has 3 passers. So maybe I can't even do it there. Maybe I really need to stick the bishop on b5 first. I'd love to play like bishop f8 and try to get at all these pieces, but that's dropping the knight. The knight kind of needs to be here, I think, to watch over... Well, maybe not if my bishop's going to be around. This is his first big think of the game, really. It doesn't seem like there's all that much going on tactically. Okay, that's pretty annoying. Yeah, that doesn't work. So I guess we have to go for this. Ugh. Still really bad. But yeah, I mean, he can simply do this, get 2 pieces for the rook, and then he's still got this ultra annoying pin. Okay, he could do it that way too. Oh, and my rook's trapped. It is unfortunate. Hmm. So he's up a piece and a pawn. Not the most ideal. Can I hit him with this, at least? Can I have one nice thing this game? Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yes, yes. Come on, bishop pair. All I've got. Don't think I'm too worried about pawns at this point. Yeah, I'm not worried about pawns. Well, we gotta keep the bishop. Oh, wait, that hangs a bishop, so that doesn't keep the bishop pair. Okay, how about here? Maybe? Okay, I'm not worried about pawns, but I don't want your rook getting too active. I mean, I'm a little worried about pawns. It'd be nice to have some pawns. He just takes all my pawns. But I still have 2 bishops, so who's really winning? Dang, there goes my rook, too. I think he can just move the rook somewhere. I'm still in big trouble. I gotta defend that. I gotta defend that. Gotta defend that. Yep. That is a good move. Yep. Okay, I've had enough. Let's see what went wrong. I think what went wrong is he played, like, really well. I can't win when they play really well. They need to make a mistake or two. Let's see if the computer agrees with me. Yeah, he played pretty well. 2 inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. 22 cent upon loss. I didn't even play badly. I didn't make any blunders. 2 inaccuracies, 1 mistake. Yeah, knight de2 is pretty strange. It's been played before. It's the 3rd most common move in the master database. But it's scoring equal for black. So e5 was maybe too much. I mean, these guys are mostly just castling. b5 is also scoring pretty well. b5 did not occur to me. But b5 is a nice move. b5 is actually scoring 41% for black, which is a pretty big score for black on move 7. I think that I understand the point now that I see the move. I think the idea is if white takes, we could do this check, forking the king and the knight. He's not losing a piece because he can go back, but we can take here now, exploiting this pin. I think that is the reason. And he can block this way too, but he's still pinned, so I think we can still get away with that. I assume that that is the point of b5. Let's confirm with the computer, because I don't want to tell you guys wrong. Oh yeah, queen a5 check, yeah. Knight bc3, and yeah. Okay, and it's giving a big plus to black, which makes a lot of sense. Material's equal, but black's doing really well in terms of activity already. And black has a pawn majority in the center, which is nice. Okay. I mean, I doubt that I'm going to see this knight de2 too much, but maybe I'll try to be on the lookout for that. I mean, sometimes when your opponent makes a strange move, you think about what squares it weakened and if anything has changed with those squares. If there's one square that really got weakened by knight de2, it's definitely b5, because that square was controlled a billion times by white before, and now it's only controlled once. So now it's like barely hanging if I play b5. Okay, we were talking about b5 in this position, but okay, that's still a very difficult thing to see unless you just prepped for it. Okay, so e5 is not so good, but not so bad. And yeah, basically from here, like, it was sort of just a slow burn of me making little mistakes after little mistake like hardly even like not even registering is inaccurate. Oh, I didn't see. If I had seen queen d6, I probably would have been more afraid of this. Yeah, h6 seems strange. d6 was pretty good. b5 is actually not so good. It wants to just castle. So it's giving castles, rook d1, and 98, which I mentioned. It just felt very sad, and I was trying to find a little bit better. But maybe trying to find better just led to finding worse. Yeah, I thought rook d1 was pretty interesting here, because it feels like white wanted to castle, and it feels very natural. But I guess he has to think about, am I going to get attacked over here? And he kind of did the same thing, rook d1, but without taking on any of the risk. So I thought rook d1 was pretty clever. Yeah, and b4, I'm just falling further in. So it wants to just go here. What are we doing? Okay, I mean, I guess this is an idea of the threat being stronger than the execution, because now, if he takes this, we can take and play b4, I think. Okay, it's saying knight f5. Okay, that's clever. I didn't think about that for 1 second. But that shows why bishop b7 was good. So I guess that just goes to show you that active pieces pay off. Like, I'm kind of making, you know, unprincipled moves over here, b5, b4, and my pieces are still chilling out back here. And somehow that didn't work out for me. And I kind of knew knight a4 was going to happen, but I just couldn't find any better idea. And yeah, it's already sort of big trouble. But I held on for a little while, but yeah, he just gets too much. I mean, he just played the most critical moves in every position. And yeah, here, I mean, I think I'm losing material in every line. Like, the computer's giving 98, which I saw, but he can just take this. And then, I guess I did miss something, because it says this is the only capture. Yeah, okay, I mean, I guess this, I get the bishop, so he should win the piece, but, yeah, I mean, this is just equal. I did somewhat miscalculate that, but I mean, I saw this too, and I knew I'm down 2 pieces for a rook here. It's 2 knights for a rook, and a pawn. I mean, it's really bad. But I guess that's better than what happened. Yeah, I thought he would play rook takes f6. It's suggesting h6, which I didn't see. I mean, the only thing I really calculated was this. And I have to play rook e8 here, and it's really ugly. He's up material, and it's ugly. So, I didn't do that. Or, well, he didn't. He took with the bishop. Which was funny, because my rook is trapped here, which I didn't notice in my calculation. Yeah, and then it didn't really matter too much from here. It doesn't like castling, but, you know, whatever. I didn't really have anything. I was just hoping for some kind of blunder, but he never made one. I tried to put pressure on him, but that ended up just putting my pieces in risky spots where they ended up getting trapped. So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video more than I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.